more funding needed for biofuel project. Atlas Steel to build 45,000 houses for Papua New Guineans. And construction to begin at the condemned Butuka Primary School.
This is National EMTV News with Tokana Hasavi.
A very good evening to you and welcome to Thursday's news. Following the launch of the PAU biofuel project 2 weeks ago, Minister for Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, Malakai Tabar, visited the plant site today. He emphasized the importance of conducting more research to promote biofuel, which is environmentally friendly. It was also revealed that the Pacific Adventist University biofuel project needs a total funding of 400,000 kina from its current funding of 250,000 kina to fully achieve the project's objectives.
From that pre-treatment tank is passed on into those two tanks.
Minister Tabar was taken on a tour of the biofuel plant at the Pacific Adventist University campus. He was accompanied by PAU Vice-Chancellor Professor Ben Thomas, Chief Executive Officer of PNG Science and Technology Secretariat, Professor Tetulohi Matainaho, and Principal Project Investigator Dr. Fifaya Matainaho. He was impressed with what he saw.
I'm not going to give you a figure today, but I've got to consult with him and the secretary of the department. We'll come back this way. I see this as a major area of research, and as I said yesterday, somebody within government or somebody in the outside commercial environment needs to take this on after the research work.
This is a research initiative undertaken by the School of Science and Technology at the university. School of Science and Technology Dean Dr. Darren Bito and the project plant technician Vincent Ando explained that it's here that used cooking oil from major cafeterias, hotels and food providers in the city is brought here and turned into biofuel after undergoing various stages of refining. In fact, 500 liters of waste cooking oil results in 80% of converted biodiesel. This is an 80% gain. Even the water used during the process is purified before it is released into the university's pond.
Biofuel, when it's used, it cuts down emission greenhouse gas emission, cuts down by 86%. But it's safe.
However, the biofuel project needs additional funding assistance of 400,000 kina from the current funding of 250,000 kina received so far from the PNG Science and Technology Secretariat. The funding is needed to achieve its objectives, which are to promote clean energy and reduce carbon emissions and promote biofuel as an alternative fuel. Currently, the biofuel is only used by PAU vehicles on campus. However, the project team hopes to get an approval from National Institute of Standards and Industrial Technology before it can commercialize the products. Bridget Komatep, National EMTV News.
Atlas Steel branch manager Peter Brown says his company is ready to deliver the government's housing program, a national program aimed at assisting Papua New Guineans to have their own homes. Atlas Steel will build steel houses, while concrete builders and PNG Forest Products will construct brick and timber houses respectively.
With the recent launch of the housing program, Brown is confident to deliver the government's housing project. He said his team of builders are aiming to build at least 5 houses every week. The construction of houses has commenced. They will be built in frames and later be assembled together.
We're hoping to see the project start in April, and we're looking to produce anything up to 5 or 6 houses per week. We are going to gear up and run 2 shifts. At the moment we're only running 1 shift, but production will have to be up to keep up the demand for what the government are putting onto us.
The program, recently launched by Lands and Physical Planning Minister Benny Allen, creates an opportunity for public servants to own their own homes. It is jointly coordinated through the Office of Urbanization, through the Planning and Monitoring and Lands and Physical Planning Department.
So we believe we can provide what the government require.
Once constructed, Papua New Guineans can buy and own homes through a 40 years loan with Bank South Pacific. This project remains one of government's priorities and is a positive step towards building the standards of public servants in the country. Takla Gunga, National EMTV News.
Local Yalu villagers in Morobe province have now ventured into a timber saw milling business. A groundbreaking ceremony was held yesterday to signify the launching of the Arivavong timber mill with developer Sino Andean, a PNG company. Morobe Governor Kelly Naru praised the locals for the initiative and called on other villages in Morobe to mobilize their resources for more village economic projects.
In a small, significant ceremony yesterday, the Yalu people witnessed the launching of a new timber mill, which will benefit more than 2,000 local people. Governor Kelly Naru was joined by representatives from the Sino Andean PNG company to launch the project. The Arivavong timber mill is one of the biggest projects so far in Morobe, which will harvest trees from over 300,000 hectares of forest along the Sarawak Range.
Arivavong is clan that makes up the village. And
Benson Nablu, a retired public servant, is the man behind the project, which will allow local clans to take ownership of the project. This means revenue generated will be divided among the respective families and clan members.
I really encourage our Papua New Guineans. If you retired like me and you had an opportunity, and if you have some asset that needs to develop, spend time in the village. Learn from our people, learn from the past mistakes, and learn from it. And let's put something together so we can all move forward and help our country develop.
Late last year, another Yalu land group, the Mopong landowners, reclaimed their old plantation land from the government. They are proposing for a new industrial park to be built to alleviate the expansion of business activities from Ley City. What the Yalu villagers are doing is mobilizing their resources in preparation of the development of the industrial hub of Papua New Guinea.
It's nothing like the government or people from the top dictating them down to them what they want to do, but it's the other way around, where the people are congregating and organizing themselves and cooperating with each other and the government and the investors to basically drive development agendas at their level.
Governor Kelly Naru also agreed and supported the initiative. However, he challenged the developer and locals to preserve and sustain the forest by planting new trees. Sylvester Gawi, National EMTV News, Ley.
Ley's Balop Teachers College has secured funding for infrastructures from the European Union's Human Resources Development Programme. The EU infrastructure project at Balop is the beginning of construction of classrooms and dormitories that will also include the Medang's Teachers College and Kokopo's Gaulim Teachers Colleges. Today marked the stone-laying program of Balop Teachers College to launch this nationwide program.
Today, delegates from the European Union and the Department of Education accompanied the Morobe Governor Kelly Naru for the launching of a Teachers College Improvement Program funded by the European Union. Balop Teachers College is the first institute to secure funding to build a classroom and dorms. It comes when major teachers' colleges around the country struggle to produce the expected quota of teachers with the infrastructure they have.
Balop is one of the biggest colleges in the country. We produce 500 plus teachers every year. In 2014, we produced 550 new teachers.
Balop Principal Jerry Hendigau explained that Balop, like Medang Teachers College and Gaulim Teachers College in the East New Britain, need improved facilities. The European Union project includes 18 classrooms, 6 administration offices, and a duplex dormitory that will house 84 rooms for a male dormitory and a female dormitory. Balop's Teachers College infrastructure development alone expects to produce 250 teachers per year in the country.
And we just support policies, and one of these policies is education. We believe in education as a
Morobe Governor Kelly Naru, who attended the launching, says more teachers will be expected to graduate from Balop for the rural parts of the country.
Because this institution here is, in fact, like we have heard, one of the biggest teachers training colleges in the country.
As the government moved towards free education, the strain on the country's education system has meant more classrooms and dorms have to build to train more teachers. Colin Barilai, National MTV News, Leh.
Following our news coverage on the condemned Butuka Elementary School in the Moresby South electorate on Tuesday, local MP Justin Chachenko visited the school and intervened. By next week, construction will start for the new ablution block and classrooms for both the elementary and primary schools. Butuka Elementary School has been suspended for 3 weeks now, following a notice from NCDC Health condemning the school for no proper toilets and poor classroom conditions.
This is Butuka Elementary School located at Sabama along the Kila Pari Road in the Moresby South electorate. Classes for elementary students have been suspended, while primary students attend half-day classes due to no toilets and poor classroom condition. The plight of the school was discovered when we visited the school on Tuesday.
Put up pit toilets, 2 or 3 pit toilets by the end of this week, Friday, so that they can come back and inspect it again, and then so that our kids can come back next week.
In this city's elementary school, a pit toilet was constructed as a temporary relief measure. It was also discovered that overcrowded classrooms due to the free education policy were some of the reasons stated by NCDC Health for condemning the school.
Very poor learning taking place in the classroom. And these are the things that our government has to look through and come in and support the school because they are our generation.
However, following this, Moresby South MP Justin Chachenko intervened. By next Monday, he has ordered a bulldozer to clear the bushes at the back of the existing ablution block to construct new ones, along with new teachers' houses. A separate ablution block will be constructed for the elementary school with proper fencing. All these were agreed upon after the local MP met with the school board and teachers at Butuka Primary School. While the local MP has intervened, the school wants the education department to support the school as they feel that the downsides of the free education policy have also affected the school. Bridget Komateb, National MTV News.
Still ahead on National MTV News, solving infant and maternal deaths in rural areas, also tackling homebrew and marijuana in Southern Highlands. Stay with us for those stories and more after the break. Good to have you back with National MTV News. In recent years, the PNG government has been putting effort into minimizing infant and maternal deaths in the country. But every year, the statistics continue to increase and the results are always daunting. Health experts say it will take a while before people can start seeing tangible changes in their communities.
This is a new labor ward recently opened in the Naksi Miguel LLG of Yanguru Sausia in the East Sepik province. The move to build this structure represents the community's effort to reduce the high maternal and mortality deaths in the area. An average of 2 mothers die from childbirth complications here every month because of the remoteness of the area. Emilia Badi, the local community health worker, agrees that poor roads and inadequate health facilities in the area is a major contributor to the unacceptably high mother and child deaths in the area.
All babies find him hard to deliver because people are not kind safe place for delivery. Only come some time only bungi maybe lorot, only sing lorot, only die.
Infant and maternal death isn't new to Papua New Guinea. Every year the statistics increases. Over the years, figures supplied by international health organizations like UNICEF reveals daunting results. Much of the blame has been leveled against poor service delivery. The O'Neill Dion-led government in the last 2 years has been delivering on promises of better free health care for all, but the government has fallen short in fully achieving its goals due to poor service delivery mechanisms within its second and third tier of government.
Health indicators of East Sepik provinces has not improved over the past 10 years.
While moves have been taken to address the issue of infant and maternal deaths, those at the receiving end says There has to be constant monitoring by the Provincial Health Department to make sure that these infrastructures are built to last. Edwin Fidelis, National EMTV News, Wewak.
The marijuana uproot and homebrew surrender campaign in Southern Highlands is progressing well. Mendi Police Station Commander Inspector Peter Butuka says the outcome has seen a huge difference in lowering law and order problems in the province. However, Inspector Butuka says more policemen are needed to police roads linking other provinces.
Southern Highlands province is experiencing change with decrease in law and order problems. The change comes after weeks of community policing and awareness by Mendi Police and the Law and Order Committee. This has seen youth voluntarily uprooting marijuana and surrendering of homebrew equipment.
Go garden by garden, ward by ward, village by village. We will run inside long have garden. We will rush them out. So people in me, all young people, all am must through. We will my awareness one time. We will never force. All yet voluntary, only come.
Mr. Tolpe, who is also the Law and Order Chairman in the province, says youths are now understanding the need for change and be part of developments taking place.
The province again revive alongside long law and order. Before long, bringing more Nadla services come inside the province, where we got staff inside the master plan and put in priority long law and order.
However, more policemen and women are needed in the province, says Mendi Station Commander Inspector Peter Butuka.
We really need more policemen and women in here. Despite we have logistical supports like vehicles, fuel, we have problems with the fuels, all this, but very good that law and order has changed. People have changed, and it's very peaceful, yeah.
The uproot operation will now extend to Lai Valley and Upper Mendi, then to other LLGs in the province.
If you are planting marijuana, you uproot the marijuana, and then we will replant you. We will give you seedlings to replace the marijuana.
Inspector Butuka is confident the operation will be a success since the outcome has been positive. Jack Lapave Jr., National EMTV News.
Meanwhile, compensation of sexual violence-related crimes in Southern Highlands Province will not be tolerated anymore. This is from Mendi Police Station Commander Inspector Peter Butuka. Inspector Butuka says the approval by the Law and Justice sector for a family sexual violence office has seen work begin behind the Mendi Police Station. The building will contain an interview room, inspection and reporting room, as well as a help desk and case registry office. Local contractor, Camilla Construction, has been given 3 months to complete the building.
So now we have a proper building for all these sexual violence cases. Not to be dealt outside in terms of compensation. No, we now refer everything to the office from here. We deal with them, we take them up to the hospital for medical examinations, and then back to here, to the court, and whatever penalty from the court, that's it.
A workshop conducted last week with the International Organization for Migration Development Fund and the leaders of the Katret Atoll in the autonomous region of Bougainville addressed possible migration management issues and development priorities for the islanders. EMTV News accompanied the IOM on this two-day event.
I'm walking here on the beach on the island Han. Han is the headquarters of the group of islands called the Katret Atoll. Behind me lay scattered the rest of the islands: Huene, Huenelis, Yosala, Yesila, Yangain, and where you can't see Peel. Together they're an extremely beautiful, paradise-filled pieces of exposed islands. Beautiful, but sitting on a sinking time bomb.
The situation on the Katret Island, based from our baseline survey that we have conducted, is the islands are being affected by environmental issues that have got to do with depleting ecosystem, and also that have got to do with the salinization of the soil as a result of sea tides, and also they do have a problem of coastal erosion that is affecting their coastal area. So this is threatening their food security.
EMTV has joined the International Organization for Migration here on the island Han. In the last 2 days, they've been conducting a workshop involving all leaders around the islands. IOM Emergency and Disaster Management Coordinator Wanasai Sitole, who covers the whole of Papua New Guinea, leads an innovative program on the Katrat Atoll. This program is funded by the International Organization for Migration Development Fund and encourages the islanders to be engaged in their own development priorities, as well as conducting potential migration management programs.
And everyone, whether educated or less educated, there's need for a role of a consolidated approach in terms of participation by every islander of this community, because everyone is affected the same. So the training for transformation is to change the mindset where people were recipients and now they become the drivers of everything. Because we are saying that a long time ago, many people have been coming with various ideas and say this is what you have to do. But this is a time for the people at the Katrat Island to say, what is it that we have to do for ourselves? And when they start to drive their development priorities here, everyone come and complement their effort so that they can get where they want.
Mega people I walk through a long time, kissing back all people, the community na I'm explaining long all one something plan up long make him improve him living.
More on the Katrat Atoll will be shown on MTV's Awesome Wanam episode this Saturday at 5:30 p.m. Michaeline Moyabasi, National MTV News.
2 new tourist attractions have been opened today at the Port Moresby Nature Park. An original Trobriand Island yam house and a bird of paradise exhibit were made possible through support from the PNG Tourism Promotion Authority. The new displays are expected to lure more visitors to the nature park.
A traditional Trobriand Island sing-sing group from the Milne Bay province performed as part of the opening of the Yam House.
We officially declare the Yam House open.
General Manager of the Port Moresby Nature Park, Michelle McGeorge, was thankful to TPA for supporting the exhibits, which enables the park to showcase both PNG's rich culture and amazing wildlife for overseas visitors as well as for residents.
I know it's been some years since there's actually been a Trobriand Island Yam House on display in Port Moresby, so we're really happy to bring that back into the Port Moresby city, and we're looking forward to everyone coming out and having a look at it.
Director of Policy and Planning at the PNG Tourism Promotion Authority, Alcinda Trawen, said TPA was happy to continue supporting the nature park as one of the country's leading attractions.
We've been associated with the Port Moresby Nature Park since 2013.
The other attraction also opened at the event was the upgrade and restoration of an old aviary. Thanks to the New Guinea Glass and Aluminium and TPA, it now includes a full glass frontage viewing area, which now provides an unobstructed view of the birds for visitors.
For us, it's a good opportunity for children to be able to actually see some of Papua New Guinea's animals and see them alive and flying around and nice and happy. And also too for the tourists, and there's a big push with Tourism Promotion Authority for the bird watching market because it's such a big market.
Nature Park is also looking forward to building its next big attraction. The park is aiming to complete and open a reptile house right before the 2015 Pacific Games to fascinate visitors.
That's going to be very, very excited, and I know lots of people say they're scared of snakes, but from my experience, it's the first animal that everybody wants to see. So they all tell us they're scared, but then they want to see it. So I'm sure that the reptile house will be a big hit with everybody.
Delhi Bagu, National MTV News.
Bank South Pacific Chairman Costas Constantino is confident BSP has the capacity to fill revenue gaps despite a slowdown in PNG's economic growth. Constantino stated this after releasing BSP's 2014 results today. The bank recorded a consolidated operating profit of 503 million kina in the last financial year.
In a statement released today by BSP Chairman Costas Constantino, the bank achieved solid results in 2014 despite the slowdown in economic activities in the country. With an operating profit after tax increase by 16% and total assets value growth from 116 million kina to 15.8 billion kina. Most of the bank's revenues was sourced from interest incomes, in particular treasury bills and inscribed stock.
The only downturn was the reduction of revenues from foreign exchange following margin bonds. However, BSP recorded a steady growth of 4% in customer deposits. Chairman Constantino says the vast customer choice in PNG is also a key factor, with almost 90% of people engaged in retail transactions via electronic channels every day. This saw the bank seeing a reduction of operating expenses of 41 million kina. This will be BSP's focus in 2015. Meanwhile, BSP is confident of establishing business markets in Fiji and Solomon Islands and will add value to the bank's revenue collection while awaiting finalization of patches of Westpac operations in Samoa, Cook Island, Tonga and Solomon Island. The bank is confident its expansion in the Pacific and variety of customer choice in the country will fill in revenue gaps and set a sound base capital of BSP's group. Jack Lapave Jr., National, EMTV News.
And now we take a look at the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at $0.3785 in the interbank market, and at Bank South Pacific, your kina was fetching $0.371, $0.4673 Australian dollars, $0.3227 euro, and 43.77 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold closed higher, copper, cocoa and coffee closed the day lower. Meanwhile, palm oil and crude oil closed higher and copper closed the day unchanged. And lastly, on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 15 points higher, the ASX closed at 36 points lower, and the All Ordinaries closed at 31 points lower. Stories making headlines overseas when we come back, including the search for a missing teenager from Fiji. Stay tuned. Good to have you back with National EMTV News. A search is on for a 14-year-old Fijian girl said to be missing in Papua New Guinea. According to local Fiji media, the student travelled to the country with a businesswoman for holidays and has still not yet returned, despite promises from her host. The young girl departed Fiji on December 3rd with a PNG businesswoman whom her family only knew for a short period of time. Investigations by Fiji's High Commission office in PNG reveal the girl allegedly resides in Baroko at a house belonging to the PNG national. Turning overseas now, over 100 civilians were captured by ISIS during a sweep through Christian villages in Syria. At least 150 people have been confirmed missing, including women and the elderly. The raid is said to have been in response to a Kurdish ambush and US airstrikes which left 14 ISIS militants dead.
Chaos in Syria's Christian community. Under attack from ISIS, these families gather for sanctuary and aid. For now, they are the lucky ones. Activists say more than 150 others kidnapped by the radical terror group.
The ISIS forces attacked the villages and took hostages and took the whole families, women, children and the elderly as hostages.
These are the images ISIS released of this attack. Their propaganda even identified the location, northeast Syria, on a map. 35 villages targeted. The fear now, the hostages taken deeper into ISIS territory. Hundreds, possibly thousands of families affected in the new offensive, some managing to find sanctuary in St. Mary's, a local cathedral. But the fate of the hostages, they fear, the same as the Egyptian Christians captured by ISIS in Libya and Iraq's Christians last year.
Seeing what ISIS done for the Egyptian Christians in Libya and the Iraqi Christians and the Iraqi Assyrians, I don't think unfortunately, I'm going to be realistic, and even I hope for better, but I guess maybe they're facing the same destiny.
A destiny that looks bleak at the very best. In the past, those Christians ISIS hasn't killed, and mostly they've been women, have been forced to become sex slaves for their fighters.
To the US, 3 men are facing terror-related charges in New York over a long list of planned crimes, including attacking police and the FBI, hijacking a jetliner, and assassinating President Obama.
The FBI says 2 of the 3 Brooklyn, New York residents were intent on waging jihad in Syria with ISIS. or launching an attack in the United States. A third associate was allegedly helping finance their mission. Court documents allege Abdurasul Joraboyev expressed his desire to pledge fidelity to ISIS in an Uzbekistan online chat last summer, saying, "To shoot Obama and then get shot ourselves, will it do? That will strike in the heart of the infidels." That alarming post brought FBI agents to his front door. Joraboyev allegedly admitted to them he would harm President Obama, but did not have the means to do so, and said if ISIS ordered him to, he would also plant a bomb on Coney Island in New York City.
They came as federal agents, as members of the Joint Terrorism Task Force. They identified them as such.
Even after the FBI interview, court documents revealed Joraboyev then began communicating with an ISIS website administrator in Iraq who encouraged him to join the terrorist group overseas. Later communications revealed Joraboyev and his co-worker Akror Syed Akhmetov began coordinating travel to Turkey, the gateway into Syria. Joraboyev allegedly telling his friend, "Once you cross the border of the Islamic State, someone has to receive you there."
To prove a conspiracy, you only have to show that there's been a material effort or forward step in furtherance of the conspiracy. And clearly, those communications would indicate that there's been a forward step in the conspiracy.
The complaint says both suspects purchased round-trip tickets to Turkey with the help of their friend, Abror Habibov, who allegedly provided more than $1,000 for their travel. Syed Akhmetov allegedly told a confidential informant if he was detected at the airport, they could kill a police officer and use the officer's gun to shoot other law enforcement officers that arrived on the scene.
ISIS has made stunning territorial gains across both Syria and in Iraq. But the terror group is also extending its reach well beyond the Middle East, both in tactic and ideology.
The Sahel and Nigerian Navy Special Forces gather around a campfire. The drop in temperature, a much-needed break from the stifling heat and intense training. For the Nigerian troops and their Chadian counterparts, this annual exercise, Flintlock, is a chance to train alongside American and British elite forces, and now is more important than ever.
No one can do it alone.
Colonel George Thebes is the Special Forces commander for West Africa.
Very few of us have the resources, the experience, and everything to bring together to be successful in that endeavor. That's why we do stress the regional and bringing it together.
Both Chad and Nigeria are at war with an extremist group intent on establishing its own Islamic State in Africa. Boko Haram already has ties to Al-Qaeda and the Islamic Maghreb, logistics and training. But also, it increasingly appears that Boko Haram is trying to model itself after ISIS, declaring its support, but not yet its allegiance. And the U.S. wants to prevent those murky ties from further solidifying.
Obviously, a fear that would be that they would all kind of coalesce and kind of get. Right now, if they're separate, you know, divide and conquer would be an easier approach to do that. So that's why, again, focus on a regional approach to help isolate it and to prevent that from happening.
It's a scenario that would potentially create even more widespread brutality than has already been witnessed in recent years. Preventing that means focusing on the regional approach. Building relationships here is key.
If a threat can be essentially taken care of at a smaller level, then obviously it benefits us all. Or why would we want a threat coming into the United States if we could have taken care of it outside of the United States?
And closer to home, Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott has spearheaded a new national security policy. He announced this week, as part of efforts to counter terrorism, the Australian government is looking at changes to immigration laws to deal with Australian citizens who are involved in terrorism. EMTV's Alana Lay reports.
Denying welfare payments to those perceived as potential threats, as well as ceasing dual passport privileges.
Clearly, people are anxious about the national security threats we face. And many are angry. They're very angry, because all too often this threat comes from someone who has enjoyed the hospitality and the generosity of the Australian people.
Abbott further mentioned that at least 20 of the 110 Australian citizens who travelled to fight with the Islamic State in Syria have been killed. Since the policy's announcement, Abbott's coalition popularity recovered slightly, although Labor has still maintained a lead. Alana Lay, EMTV World News.
And our bulletin continues with Trukai Sports, which is coming up next, and I'll be back with all the details. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Manager of the High Performance Division, Aaron Alsop, has every confidence in Team PNG exceeding expectations at the 2015 Pacific Games. Aaron said in the last 12 months he has seen a bulk of improvements come from the athletes and a noticeable transformation since the 2013 Mini South Pacific Games in Wallis and Futuna.
The High Performance Division has played an impartial role in the readiness of athletes for the 2015 Pacific Games. Since their formation, the High Performance Training Centre, an initiative of the PNG Olympic Committee, has focused on both the high performance and strength and conditioning division of athletes' preparations.
We've added value in the right way that the coaches feel like they're still in control of the program, which they are.
Weekly, the centre receives up to 1,000 visits for training.
We get about 200 to 250 visits through our rehabilitation centre every week. So from that, I guess there's a lot of relationship and conversations that are had with athletes, and we've identified the need for those things.
Alsop says the important element of upskilling and preparing the athletes requires a lot of attention and focus on the health and welfare of the athletes. Since the inception of the High Performance Division, Team PNG Chef de Mission Richard Kassman has confirmed that the level of improvement has exceeded the expectations of many and will continue to arise prior to and post Pacific Games.
We just want to reassure Papua New Guinea that our team's in good hands and we're on track. Thank you all.
Lorraine Genia, National EMTV Sports.
Team PNG Chef de Mission Richard Kassman has assured the country that preparations are progressing well and are on track 126 days away from the Pacific Games. Kassman acknowledged the issue with the venues currently under construction, but assured everyone that this was factored into their planning since Papua New Guinea won the bid to host the Games and that it is not a distraction for the athletes.
Most teams and athletes are now in the final stages of preparation, with national championships and overseas tours to wrap up final selections. Although expectations of performing on home soil are tremendous, Chef de Mission Richard Kassman and his team are confident that our athletes are on track.
We're a lot more confident than we ever have been because of our preparation and because we had started our preparation a long time ago. We selected our coaches and managers last year. A lot of teams had squads training in 2014. We finalized a lot of the official coaches and managers throughout that time. So I've got growing confidence in that and with the support that we're providing.
While construction of venues has been challenging for team sports, alternative venues have been secured to allow the team preparations to continue.
Apart from that, they're out in the field working right around Port Moresby at training. So our athletes are training primarily 6 days a week.
To better equip athletes and elevate their preparations, Kassman also stated that Team PNG's management structure and operations has also reached a scale unprecedented in Games history. Scholar Sengi, National EMTV Sports.
PNG Sports Foundation CEO Peter Tiamalili today presented the 2006 to 2013 financial statements of the foundation to the Auditor General Philip Nauga. The report highlighted a high prevalence of irregular and non-compliant transactions, indicating a lack of financial and management competency dating back several years. The occasion was witnessed by Sports Minister Justin Chachenko.
Present at the event also was Chairman of the PNGSF Board Graham Osborne, Regular of the Ombudsman Commission, and Auditor General Philip Nauga. CEO Peter Tiamalili Jr. had earlier stated from the start that the foundation had set out to take stock of their financial resources and that adequate measures had been taken to address key findings of the report with stronger processes, procedures and drive. Key highlights from the 2006 to 2013 financial performance showed first of all that there was a non-compliance to the Public Finance Management Act and the General Public Service Order. Secondly, it was found that 23 bank accounts had been created, which resulted in unaccounted for transactions. Now also, AusAid had given just under 900,000 kina in the Sports for Development initiative, and a lot of that money had to be paid back from the 2013 recurrent and PIP allocations. And finally, an unprecedented amount of 2 million kina was spent in legal fees. Now, Sport Minister Justin Chichenko, who was present at the report, commended the PNG Sports Foundation.
Process. I congratulate the CEO. I thank the Auditor General for his comments. We're bringing PNG Sports Foundation back on track to get investor confidence and also in confidence from the public as well, that we can manage the affairs of the PNG Sports Foundation.
Auditor General Philip Nauga was more direct when stating the purpose of the reports, saying also that prudence was important.
Together so that you can be effective yourself as well as we as an audit office. I would like to thank you that you've taken the initiative and you've made us all proud in this office. You left us with the challenge that we now have to do the audit as quickly as we can, so that we can give you a report, so you can report to Parliament, and then we can also do a separate report to Parliament on the same thing.
With the PNG Sport Foundation to inherit over 1 billion kina of infrastructure assets after the Games in July, Chamalili was also quick to point out the importance of accountability. Jeremy Mogi, National, EMTV Sports.
True Guy Sports continues. Southern Highlands bid to host the next PNG Games. That's coming up next. Stay with us.
True Guy Sports.
Good to have you back with True Guy Sports. Southern Highlands is confident in outbidding Eastern Highlands and the National Capital District to host the 2018 PNG Games. Their main objective is to set a platform for other provinces to follow in terms of building infrastructure and sporting facilities. The Southern Highlands PNG Games Bid Committee's Chief Executive Officer, Stanley Nandex, was positive about delivering the Games as planned. He said there is enough evidence to support their bid. The bid will be held in Kimbe, West New Britain on the 28th of February, where the 3 centres will push to host the Games. Well, the SB PNG Hunters arrived this morning from Kokopo from their training camp in preparations for their trial match in Cairns, Australia tomorrow. The 21-man squad, accompanied by coach Michael Marum, went straight into their final training at the Port Moresby International School just before their departure. EMTV's Rafael Akawe reports.
The SB Hunters are all ready and set to take on Northern Pride in tomorrow's clash in the pre-trial match in Cairns, Australia. With the inclusion of the new talents, coach Michael Marum is adamant the young guns will do well, as they have been training hard for the past 2 months in preparation for the trials.
New boys in it. I think most of our senior players from last year have been ruled out due to injuries. I think 5 of them probably won't be able to make the first team too. So, and yeah, we just want to see how the young boys can go in and play against those big sides here.
One of the new talents in the squad is Bland Abavu, who was scouted from the Digicel Cup match last year. He says he is quite privileged to make it into the team and is looking forward to impress the coach and the rest of the team.
The training in Kokopo was very hard for us, but coach and the staff were very good at us, so we reach all our targets and we reach all our aims to play footy as a strong players.
The SB Hunters had their final training session here at the Port Moresby International School this morning before departing to Cairns this afternoon. They will play against the Northern Pride at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Rafael Akaure, National, EMTV Sports.
And True Guy Sports ends on that note. The weather details coming up after the break. Stay tuned.
Guy Sports. Butuka Sports.
A quick look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in southern region. Port Moresby to expect showers and rain with possible thunderstorms. In Momase, showers and rain with thunderstorms as well expected in Lae City. In the New Guinea Islands, showers expected in Lorengau, Kavieng and Buka. And lastly, in the Highlands region, thundery rain conditions, then morning fog expected in all centres. Well, that's the way it is this Thursday, the 26th of February, 2015. On behalf of the entire news crew, I'm Tokana Hasavi. Thanks for your company. You take care and stay safe. Good night.